Hello my friends and welcome. Today is water change day, or one of two water change days, because it takes me at least 2 days to do water changes on all my tanks. The main reason is because there's salt water and I need to make RO water to make salt water, and it takes a long time for my little RO unit there to fill this barrel. This barrel is 250 litres, and to do all of my saltwater tanks I tend to use 2.5 of these barrels, which is basically an entire sack of salt. So that's 23 kilos of salt a month. I try and water change all my tanks once a month, and that's actually quite a big job. This barrel, typically off that unit there, takes about 2.5 days to fill with RO, and then do another day of it mixing with salt. So that's how I do it. I have a little pump at the bottom, and then it pumps up to the top and kind of circulates the salty RO, and you get a good mix on it. It also warms it up a little bit because it's quite warm in this shed, and it gets it to around 15 degrees before I put it back into my systems, which is enough not to chill the tanks down too much. Today I'm going to be water changing this here, which is the Flex 123. I tend to not water change this very often because it seems very stable as tanks go, but it goes through these phases of looking nice, and then when it starts to look a little bit not so nice, I suppose, this calliope stops growing very well and everything just looks a little bit lacking. That's why I know it needs a good water change, so I'll probably do about 50% water change on that, and that's only 75 litres. And then I'll also use the rest of the water to water change this one. This tank's had a little bit of a rough going the last couple of months. The main reason is I've just been messing around with the lighting. You may have seen my video, but I've put an Orfec blue light onto that tank, and it did just have this one on there. So the lighting's increased, the spectrum's changed slightly, and it's kind of shocked all the algae in there, and they've just stopped growing, stopped looking very good. Hopefully, once they've got used to the light, then they'll start to bounce back. This one's pretty standard in terms of water changes. It's just the simple siphon out into a container, and then obviously just refill it from the barrel. So not very different really to how you would do any tank, to be fair. What I would say though is, in the future, because I have to do it a very similar way with my main systems, when I build my next system or my next shed, it's all going to be on one main sump, because at the moment this is really the biggest time waste or time usage in this fish house, is doing water changes like this, and it's such a big use of my time where I could be doing other things. And my next build will be a bit more commercial, I suppose, in terms of the way it's going to be, because we'll have all of our tanks on racking, and then it'll all drain into a main sump, and then from that sump, that's where I can do the water changes. And that's kind of how it should have been done in the first place, but this place has been cobbled together tank by tank, and because I've done it that way, I haven't managed to just sort of do it in one big build and get it exactly how I'd like to do it. So that's half the water gone, just chucked it outside basically, and now to refill it. Now most people, I guess, the way that they refill their tanks is they have jugs of water and they pour them back into the tank. Now this is a much easier way because it's a lot neater, and that's just to have like a barrel or something like this, and you have a pump in there, and you simply just pump the water back in. By pumping it, obviously it's easier because you don't have to mess around with lifting things, heavy jugs and everything else, but also it doesn't disturb your substrate as much, because when you're chucking in a lot of water, what you tend to find is the substrate gets really messed up. So that's one of the reasons I do it. That's one of the reasons I do it this way. Plus it's just so simple, because now I can just sit down and wait for the water to transfer over, and we do get a little bit of disturbance on the gravel, but nothing too bad. And I'm not straining myself either. Even if you only have a bucket, you can get small pumps, and you can just do it this way and pump the water in. I find it easier. And there we have one water changed tank. Now that one's pretty standard in terms of how you should water change a tank. This one and my main system are slightly different in the fact that I actually pump the water out of the tank straight into a drain that's outside of my shed. So it's even less stressful and demanding on me. I don't have to lift loads and loads of containers of water. Just simply pump it in and pump it out. The only thing really with water changing my systems is just the time it takes. It's not particularly difficult, it's just it takes so long. So, you know, this is probably going to take, because it's a small pump, it's going to take maybe 20 to 25 minutes to drain, and then it's going to take another 20 to 25 minutes to refill. So, you know, that's an hour gone. So yeah, really having a better system would definitely improve things. There we have most of the water taken out, well, just over half anyway. One thing I love about this tank is it smells just like when the tide goes out on a rock pool. It is literally the same smell. I can imagine myself being by the ocean, by the seaside, and getting that smell of sort of seaweedy rock pool, and I absolutely love it. And there we have the tank after it has been water changed, and that is a whole barrel. So pretty much half that tank is one whole barrel. So now I need to refill this barrel and do this system. So thanks for watching. If you are watching, you are a patron on my Patreon page. This is essentially my first proper Patreon video, and this is the kind of thing I'm going to be doing, just kind of behind the scenes, how I do things, my daily routine, and little blogs on my systems and tanks. Stuff that I'm not going to be putting on my main YouTube channel, just because YouTube doesn't like it. Nobody watches it, and it actually does more harm than good on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to keep it on here, keep it exclusive for you to enjoy. So thanks so much for watching, and happy fish keeping.